The octagon is silent for a fleeting moment. The air hums with anticipation, a coiled spring ready to snap. At the UFC Apex in Las Vegas, the lights burn bright, casting stark shadows across the canvas. It's September 9th, 2025, and Dana White's Contender Series, Week 5, is about to deliver a moment that will echo through the MMA world. Two featherweights step into the cage, each carrying the weight of a dream, a UFC contract, a chance to etch their name into the sport's history. Larian Douglas, the Legacy Fighting Alliance featherweight champion, stands calm, his eyes locked forward, a predator sizing up his prey. Across from him, Cam Teague, a scrappy underdog with a chip on his shoulder, bounces lightly on his toes, ready to defy the odds. 36 seconds later, one man will be unconscious, and the other will be one step closer to immortality. Larian Douglas is no stranger to the grind. At 30 years old, he's fought 17 times, carving out a record of 12 wins and 5 losses. His hands are heavy, his resolve heavier. 4 straight knockouts have brought him here, each one a statement, each one a step toward redemption. His last loss, a brutal head kick TKO to Isaac Thompson in August 2023, was a wake-up call. Since then, Douglas has been a man possessed, his fists a wrecking ball. He claimed the LFA featherweight belt in January, stopping Elijah Johns in the second round with a precision that turned heads. Now, standing in the apex, he's the biggest betting favorite of the night, his odds sitting at a crushing -660. The fans know it, the analysts know it, and Douglas? He feels it. His 72-inch reach, 3 inches longer than his opponent's, is a weapon he's honed to perfection. Every jab, every hook, is a missile waiting to launch. Cam Teague, at 27, is the younger man, but his journey is no less storied. 9 wins, 1 loss, and a hunger that burns through his veins. His lone defeat came a year ago on this very stage, Dana White's Contender Series, Week 7, 2024. Kevin Vallejos stopped him in 2 minutes and 23 seconds, a TKO that left Teague reeling but not broken. He vowed to return, and he did, racking up 3 straight wins on the regional circuit. A brutal knockout over Steve Confer, a decision over David Zellner, a TKO against Austin Lingo. Teague's resilience is his calling card, his ability to evolve under pressure his greatest asset. He trains out of Port City Combat Sports in Mobile, Alabama, a gym that's molded him into a well-rounded fighter. His 69-inch reach may be shorter, but his footwork is sharp, his striking diverse. He's the underdog at +420, but Teague thrives in chaos. He's here to prove the doubters wrong, to show the world he belongs. The featherweight division is a shark tank, and both men know it. At 145 pounds, the UFC's most stacked weight class is a proving ground where only the ruthless survive. Names like Alexander Volkanovski, Max Holloway, and Ilia Topuria cast long shadows. A contract tonight doesn't just mean a paycheck, it means a chance to swim with the predators. For Douglas, a win could vault him into the top 15, a former LFA champion ready to challenge the likes of Brian Ortega or Yair Rodriguez. For Teague, it's about redemption, a second shot to erase the memory of last year's loss and stake his claim among the elite. The stakes couldn't be higher. The Apex crowd, a mix of die-hard fans and industry insiders, buzzes with energy. Dana White sits cage-side, his eyes scanning every movement, knowing one punch could change a man's life. The referee gives the signal. The fight begins. Douglas stalks forward, his stance low, his hands loose but ready. Teague circles, his footwork crisp, probing with a jab to gauge the distance. The first exchange is lightning fast, a flurry of punches from both men, testing each other's defenses. Douglas lands a stiff right, snapping Teague's head back. The crowd gasps. Teague stumbles, his knees buckling for a split second. He's hurt, and Douglas smells blood. The LFA champion presses forward, his 72-inch reach closing the gap like a guillotine. Teague scrambles, desperation in his eyes, his back finding the cage. He's in survival mode, his arms up, trying to weather the storm. But Douglas is relentless. His left hook is cocked, a loaded gun waiting for the perfect moment. Then it comes. The hook lands flush, a thunderclap that echoes through the apex. Teague's head whips to the side, his body folding like a marionette with cut strings. The canvas rushes up to meet him, his limbs limp, his consciousness gone. 36 seconds. That's all it took. The referee dives in, waving it off as Douglas steps back, his chest heaving, his face a mask of controlled fury. The crowd erupts, a roar that shakes the rafters. Dana White leaps to his feet, his hands clapping, a rare grin breaking across his face. It's one of the fastest knockouts in Contender Series history, tying for 8th all-time. The replay flashes on the screens, and the brutality is undeniable. Teague's body hits the mat with a sickening thud, the physics of the knockout almost surreal. A ricochet effect, they'll call it later, a moment where time seemed to freeze. If you're watching this and your heart's racing, hit that subscribe button to catch every pulse-pounding moment from the cage. MMA Arena brings you the raw, unfiltered stories of fighters chasing their dreams. The aftermath is a blur. Medical staff rush to Teague's side as he stirs, his eyes glassy but aware. He's a warrior, and he'll be back, but tonight belongs to Douglas. Dana White enters the cage, shaking hands with both fighters, his voice booming over the mic. He calls it an incredible fight, though the irony isn't lost on anyone. It was less a fight and more a statement. Douglas stands tall, his LFA belt a distant memory now. The UFC contract is his, a golden ticket earned with one devastating punch. Social media lights up, fans and fighters alike weighing in. One fan calls it a knockout that'll be replayed for years. Another says Douglas is the future of the featherweight division. A former fighter chimes in, praising Teague's heart but marveling at Douglas's precision. The MMA world is buzzing, and the clips are already going viral. Let's break it down. Douglas's game plan was simple but devastating. Pressure early, overwhelm with power. His striking is surgical, a blend of speed and force that's rare even at 145 pounds. That left hook wasn't just a punch. It was the culmination of years of training, of losses that forged him, of a hunger that refused to be denied. His ability to read Teague's movements, to capitalize on that early stumble, shows a fight IQ that could carry him far. Teague, for his part, came in with a plan to use his footwork to keep Douglas at bay with kicks and counters. But the speed of the onslaught caught him off guard. Against a finisher like Douglas, one mistake is all it takes. The cage against his back was a death sentence, limiting his angles, trapping him for the kill shot. The featherweight division shifts with this performance. Douglas isn't just another prospect now, he's a name to watch. The UFC's 145-pound class is a meat grinder, but Douglas has the tools to carve his path. His knockout power is a problem, his experience a foundation. Matchmakers will be salivating at the possibilities. A debut against someone like Dan Ige or Calvin Kattar could test his mettle, but Douglas looks ready for the challenge. For Teague, the road doesn't end here. His 9-2 record still holds weight, his resilience a testament to his potential. He'll return to the regional scene, sharpen his game, and likely get another shot. The Contender Series is unforgiving, but it rewards those who persevere. The night at the Apex was historic, not just for Douglas's knockout, but for the context it sits in. 5 contracts were handed out, including one to a losing fighter, Chanel Dyer. In a women's bout, Dana White called one of the best he's ever seen. The card also saw Steven Asplin's 16-second demolition of Anthony Guarascio, the third fastest knockout in Contender Series history. But Douglas's 36 seconds of violence? That's the moment fans will remember. It's the kind of knockout that defines a career, that sends a message to the division. Larian Douglas is here, and he's bringing hell with him. As the apex clears out, the lights dim, and the cage is disassembled, the echo of that left hook lingers. For Larian Douglas, it's a beginning, a doorway to the UFC, to bigger fights, to a legacy yet to be written. For Cam Teague, it's a setback, but not the end. The octagon doesn't care about your dreams. It only respects those who can survive its chaos. Tonight, Douglas was the storm, and Teague was caught in its path. The featherweight division has a new contender, and the world is watching.